The United States of America has a rich and diverse history that spans over 2 centuries. Here's a brief overview. Indigenous peoples inhabited the region for thousands of years. Various Native American tribes developed complex societies and cultures. Christopher Columbus arrived in 1492, marking the beginning of European exploration. Spanish, French, Dutch, and British colonies were established. The 13 British colonies declared independence in 1776. The Continental Army led by George Washington fought against the British. The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 ended the war, recognizing American independence. The Constitution was ratified in 1788, establishing the federal government. The Bill of Rights was added in 1791. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 doubled the country's size. The Mexican-American War from 1846 to 1848 resulted in the U.S. gaining a significant amount of land. The California Gold Rush, spanning from 1848 to 1855, drew thousands of settlers. Tensions over slavery and states' rights led to the Civil War. The Confederacy, formed by 11 southern states, fought against the Union. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, freeing slaves in Confederate territory. The war ended with the Union victory in 1865. Reconstruction aimed to rebuild the South and ensure civil rights for freed slaves. The United States experienced rapid industrialization and urbanization. The country expanded its influence abroad, annexing Hawaii in 1898 and Puerto Rico in the same year. The United States entered World War I in 1917. The war ended with the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. The 1920s saw a cultural and economic boom known as the Roaring Twenties. The stock market crash of 1929 led to the Great Depression. President Franklin D. Roosevelt implemented the New Deal, a series of programs to alleviate suffering. The United States entered World War II after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. The war ended with the Allied victory in 1945. The United States and the Soviet Union engaged in the Cold War, a decades-long ideological conflict. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., fought for racial equality. The United States experienced significant social and cultural changes during the 1960s. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, marking the end of the Cold War. The United States has continued to play a dominant role in global politics and economics. The country has faced challenges like terrorism, climate change, and social inequality. This is just a brief overview of the history of the United States. There is much more to explore and learn about this complex and fascinating country.